I thought it'd be a fun idea to draw different people's gacha characters so that's it. The first character was submitted by @LizaPerry on Twitter. Her name is Rebecca Twinkle, and her inner animal is a nightingale. She is also 158 centimeters tall. I really like this character. I thought she was cute. I chose to keep the nightingale theme by integrating that onto her dress, and I also added nightingale type flowers to her dress as well. And I also try to make her eyes a bit beady, like black and beady, kind of how bird eyes are, if you've ever seen those. There is a rather large gap in the time lapse, and part of that is intentional, the other part wasn't. That'll happen again multiple times. I didn't choose to insert Metabong Paint footage, like the automatic time lapse that it creates, because it would take way too long, and my video compression service would absolutely murder me for that, and it would take way too long to export and edit. But for this one, it was accidental. For the others, not so much. I think I only have one completed time lapse in here, so apologies for that. If you don't want to see the whole thing, it's fine. Here's the finished illustration. The next character was submitted by kittyfighter_gacha16 on Reddit. Right from the start, I really liked this character. It just looked really cool to me, and for some reason it kind of reminded me of Gavis Battle. Not really sure why. The vibes are similar, but it's not really there at all, like in terms of color palette or actual position of the character. It was about partway through when I realized I forgot the glasses, like when I started rendering the face and I was like, wait, where'd the glasses go? That was kind of awkward, and I beat myself up for forgetting it, but it was a bit late in to really add them, so just imagine them on there. The other aspects of the design, like the bat wings and the hair, were really fun to draw, and they looked like super duper complicated on the gacha characters. I got a little bit nervous at first, but then I started doing it and I got really fun, and I think I got most of it, except for the glasses, obviously. But the other thing was, because of how dark certain parts were, I wound up having to adjust the opacity so I could see where I had what parts were on what, and then I just used that to shade, which I had to turn up to actually see the shading. And the color palette was really fun to work with, the reds and blacks, and I wound up not being able to go for a complete black on the gacha thing, because it did wind up doing a lot more contrast and shading, I guess. Also, the butterfly is just really bad. Ignore it, and so are the flowers. I don't really like drawing either of those things, and it was about 1 in the morning when I was working on this, so I just kind of gave up. There's the finished illustration. The next character was also from Reddit. It was submitted by u/w0nter bread, or Wonder Bread, I guess. I thought this OC was also really cute. I love the glasses and the whole aesthetic vibe, I guess. I wound up doing a white liner on a black screen with navy coloring for the character to kind of represent how similar it looked, and I didn't want to draw a whole star, so I just traced one of them from the brush and cut it out, but I probably should have done it because then it was not all the way opaque, and I had to redo parts of it. I really wanted super badly during the drawing process to give the character swirly eyes and fangs. I don't know why, it's just instinct at this point. I give almost all the characters I draw fangs, so I kind of had to resist from doing it on this one. I did create an alternate version with swirly eyes though, which you'll see at the end. This is also the only drawing I have the entire time-lapse footage for. I don't know why. I think it's not a shorter time-lapse than the other ones. In terms of how many files it is, it's actually longer. So I don't know why I have the whole of this one, but not any of the other ones. And I just wound up using a bunch of random brushes and effects from the Metabong library to do the background with. That I thought it looked pretty nice. Here's the finished illustration. Here is the alternate version. And the next one's a little bit different because I don't have a digital time-lapse because I did it traditionally. It was submitted by Leviathan7471 on Reddit, and I just want to say I really like the celestial theme that the character had. And as for coloring, I didn't necessarily have the right skin tone markers that wound up looking a little bit off, but this is of course oversaturated, so you can kind of see the lines a bit, but I hope you like the way that it turned out. Sorry. For the exact coloring process, I wound up inking it first with a simple water-based liner and then using another alcohol marker to add thickness to some points. The last character was submitted by e/FNAFtheoristEvie from Reddit, and I think the character's name is also Evie. I really like the purple and brown design for it. And I also have most of the time lapse for this one as well, but not quite all of it. The pose was really fun. I wound up trying to work with it. But I did wind up having to reshape the wrist quite a bit because I'd accidentally bent it too far over. And the flower was also really fun to draw. It's also one of the only ones where there's like an actual other reason for it not capturing the whole footage other than just me being stupid and forgetting to turn it on, which is that the screen recorder program I was using was being incredibly stupid and corrupted a lot of the footage I had from this one for whatever reason. So I just wound up not using that. The jacket hoodie strings was fun to draw. I didn't wind up drawing a zip. What I did do, just did the hoodie strings. What I did for the t-shirt graphic was just use a less opaque, partly opaque white brush and then add, like, instead of erasing sections, I dropped the colors that are outside of it and then use that to color in. I also realized part of the way through rendering that I forgot to add the eye highlights, so I just went back in and did those. Here's the final result.